Hello, hello, good evening. It's Monica from Life is Art, and it's Wednesday. Let's create. We are going to be making a fun fold card this evening, and I'm just trying to bring up my video on the side. Sorry, my camera's jiggling. Just trying to get myself organized, and I realized just at the last minute that the camera that I use to do my videos needed to be charged. So it's plugged in as we're doing this. So I've got a wire that's dangling across, which is making it hard for me to reach my computer to turn this on. But it was a beautiful sunny day today. And oh my goodness, we're so crooked. How did I manage that? A beautiful sunny day today. And I hope you got out and were able to enjoy some of it. Good evening, Joanne. Good evening, Mom. Hey, Debbie. And get some fresh air and some sunshine. Soon enough, we'll have lots of sunshine. And we'll have more sunshine than we know what to do with, right? Hey, Paula. Ellie's here, too. Woohoo. Everybody's popping on. So like I said, we're going to be making a twisted square card, and I don't know what's going on with my setup tonight, but I feel like everything here is like a twisted square. Everything seems just a little bit off, so hopefully that doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies as we work on our card. So we're going to start with a card base that will end up being a square, but to start out with, it's going to be a really long rectangle. I'm going to be using the papers and stamps. Papers and stamps? No, just the papers from the Life's a Hoot collection. I'm also going to, which is the featured collection for March. I'm also going to be using the March stamp of the month, which I just can't get enough of. It is just so adorable. And so tonight we're going to be using this little guy up here with his basket of flowers that's just so stuffed. He's just losing them every which way. And so we're going to be using that. We're also going into our stash, and I'm pulling out these stitched fancy brackets. And so I'm going to be using the smaller one of this because this card requires a belly band. And so we're going to be using this stitched fancy bracket to create sort of a focal point for the front of our card that sits on the belly band. And what else can I show you before we start? We're going to be using our tri-blend markers. We're going to be using some foam tape. We're going to be using some intense black ink because we're going to be coloring. But we're going to start. Good evening, Heather. Good evening, Carol. Everybody's joining in the fun. We're going to be starting with our card base. And this is a 12 inch by 4 inch. So if you're the kind of person who likes to make multiples of your cards, that means you can get 3 card bases out of one 12 by 12 sheet, which is awesome because sometimes you need more than one card. And so this is 12 inches by 4 inches. And this is the grape from the Life's a Hoot collection, coordinating cardstock. And so I have the dark side here, and then this is the lighter side. And I'm going to be doing some scoring on the lighter side. So I'm just going to line it up on my Versamat. This is very simple scoring. Very simple. No stress scoring. We're going to be creating kind of a tri-fold out of this to begin with. So we're going to score it at 4 inches, right like that, from side to side. And then we're going to be scoring at 8 inches. So that's easy. So we're just making 3 sections that are 4 by 4. Okay, so we've got our 1, 2, 3 sections scored at 4 inches and 8 inches. And then we are going to score on the diagonal. So I'm just going to stick it down there. It doesn't really have to line up because we're going to score diagonally. And what we want to do is we want to score from the upper left of this right-hand side corner from the upper left to the lower right. So we're just going to line it up. Not really any measuring involved. It's just lining up. And sometimes that takes a little fiddling. And we're just going to score across there like that from corner to corner. And then we're going to do the same thing on the first panel. We could have started with the first panel, but we started with the third panel just to be different. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to score from the upper left to the bottom right. The lower right. Upper left, lower right. And just line it up. And this is, you kind of have to use a ruler for this, although if you're really fancy, you can use your scoreboard. There we go. And that's it. That's all the scoring. Easy peasy. You know what? We decided we're going to keep it easy today. We don't always have to do really, really exotic things. We can keep it easy every once in a while, right? And then what we want to do is we want to take this side and we're going to fold it in. Just like this. And make sure it all lines up. And crease it down. So we folded in our right side, creased it down. Now we've got this diagonal line that we scored here on the inside, this diagonal line. So we're going to fold back on this. So this should now fold all the way from corner to corner, just like that. Beautiful. Just make sure everything lines up. And then squish it down. There we go. So we've completed one side, and we can move this out of the way because that just makes life easier when we're folding this side. Now we're going to come over to the left side, and we're going to fold the left side in just like we did the right side. Make sure everything lines up. Crease it down. And then we take a look here, and we have our score line going this way, like that. So we're going to fold back on itself this way. And you could try to do this without scoring these diagonals and just fold it back on itself. I just think you get a nicer fold, a little crisper line when you score it first, right? And then you know it's going to meet up nice in the center. So now you're going to see why it's called a square twist card, because it just boop, twists open. How fun is that? And now we just have to decorate now. So for our front panel here, I have a piece of the gorgeous pattern paper from the Life's a Hoot collection. This fun one that has the watercolor circles and the toffee accents on here that kind of look like gold the way that they have done it. I just think it's so beautiful. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it from corner to corner. So I'm just grabbing my little photo trimmer. And you can kind of play with it. So kind of look at the design of what you've got on your paper and see which way you think you want it to go. And I think I like mine this way. And so I'm going to trim from this corner to this corner. And it's as easy as just sticking it in your trimmer and lining up the corners. And this is 3/4 of an inch square. Sorry, 3 3/4. 3/4 of an inch. Wow, I really don't know how to measure things. This is definitely bigger than 3/4 of an inch. It's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And so when we bring that onto the front of our card, you're going to see that we can line it up nice and tight in the center. And then we will have this gorgeous rim of the light colored grape showing all the way around. So pretty. So let's grab our glue and we will attach these. I find triangles are just easier with glue because you got to get some adhesive down into those points, and it's so much easier than tape runner sometimes, is to just grab your glue. Okay, and then just kind of fold it down, and we want to line it up along this folded edge and have an equal amount of the grape showing all the way around, like so. I got glue on my fingers because you should always get glue on your fingers when you're crafting. That's how you know you've been crafting, when you've got glue in weird places. Fingers are not really a weird place to have glue, but you know. And then we can go ahead and line up our other one in the same way. Just lining it up with that center and an equal amount of grape all the way around. How easy is that? And isn't that such a gorgeous pattern? Are you loving this Life's a Hoot paper? I think it's just so pretty. And I love that there's these little bits of the gold on there as well. So fun. Okay, now we need to add a little something on the inside, okay? Because we need a little sentiment. We need a little something. So we're going to come in with just a plain piece of white daisy cardstock. And this is also 3 3/4 inch square. So we're keeping everything simple today. Just sticking with the same numbers. And I'm going to bring in the cute little koala. Oh my goodness, just so cute. Cute, cute, cute. That's all I'm just going to keep saying. And I've got my intense black ink here. And I'm going to ink this up. Inky, inky, inky. Oh, I don't want my koala here. Sorry, I'm putting a sentiment on the inside. I totally forgot what I was doing. I want to put a sentiment. I've got the thank you bunches sentiment. I got ahead of myself. I'm just so excited about the little koala because he's just the cutest. We're going to put thank you bunches in the center, just like that. We'll bring him back. It's okay. Whew, I caught myself just in the nick of time. Oh, my adhesive stuck to my pen. Grab our adhesive. Do you ever do that? Get ahead of yourself, get so excited about the cute little critter that you just want to stick it in everywhere? And you want to do it now? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Has anybody got their stamp of the month yet? I know it's always exciting. I know people who place their order during the crop. We're just going to center that in the center. Thank you, bunches. Look at that. How fun. Thank you, bunches. If you wanted, you could add pattern paper there as well, but I think it looks kind of pretty with those nice flares of the grape popping out from the center. And, yeah. Oh, Carol says hers is supposed to be here tomorrow, her stamp of the month. Yay! I know about a little more than half the people who ordered at the crop have already received, or already their orders have shipped out. They haven't necessarily received it yet, but it has shipped out. So this is what I was telling you about earlier. I went ahead and I used the smaller of the stitched fancy brackets. Stitched fancy brackets. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't think that was a tongue twister, but it was. Must be a Wednesday. So this is what we're going to stamp our little critter on. Our cute little koala. I love that the animals on here are all from Australia. That's super fun. And so we're just going to go ahead and stamp him on the front. Make a nice little focal point. Oh my goodness, he's so sweet. So sweet. Where am I going to put that? Right there. And now, of course, we need to do a little bit of coloring. And so I want to start with the koala, of course. So I've got my ice gray blend, which I need to get a new one of this because it's starting to get a little lacking in color in a few places because I just like it so much. It's great for doing shadows. And I'm just going to go ahead and color his ears. I'm going to color all of him with the light, but I kind of do it in little sections. And I'm not coloring him solidly. I am coloring him in swirly little circles, and I'm not attempting to have him completely covered because I figure koalas are floofy, and floofy little things can have floofy coloring, right? So we're just going to make him kind of look like little floofy koala that he is. So now I'm switching to the mid color, and I'm going to color in his ears like that. Little floofy ears. And then let's add in some little shadows and under his chin because he's You know, so cute. And under his ears, I'm going to have the light coming from this side because that's almost always the side that I have the light coming from. And we'll give him little floofy. And this arm back under here, it's all kind of under the basket. So we can kind of color it all in a little bit dark and shadowy. And then down his legs and under here, under his ear, and this little foot that's back here. It can also get some shadow. And then let's pop it around and go to the dark. And we'll add just a little bit under the right-hand side of his ear, where that top part of his ear is casting a shadow. And then under the bottom. And this is just a tiny little bit right on the edge. We're not going over everywhere where we had shadow before, just right up tight to the lines, because that's where the darkest shadows will be. And this little guy down here can have a little extra. And right here, oh my goodness, he's so cute. And there we go, little floofy. Little floofy. Let me lift that up so you can see. Isn't he so cute? Oh my goodness. Are you guys loving this stamp of the month with the little critters? So fun. Okay, now we need to move on to the basket. So let's grab our earth brown blend. And we're going to start with the light of the earth brown blend. This is another one I end up using a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the basket like this with the light. This one gets used a lot for the puppy dogs that we had a while ago, and the kitty cats, and the bunnies, and the kangaroos. So it gets used a lot. Then we're going to jump to the mid, and I'm going to do the edge of the basket, anywhere it's showing. And then let's also add in a little bit of shadow along this side and the bottom, and then maybe right along the tips of where the basket weave is, just to give it a little bit of texture. And that was our earth brown blend. And then we need to color some flowers. So let's grow. Oh, that's gray. I don't want gray. I want this pretty hydrangea blend. I'm going to use the light one first. And I'm going to color in some of these pretty purple flowers. And all these little guys that are blowing away as he's running along with his little basket full of beautiful blossoms to share and say thank you. I love how eager he looks. He's just like, I'm coming, I have them. Do any of you make up little characters out of your stamps like this? Maybe it's just me. And then I'm just going to give a little bit of shadow to some of these on the one edge. Just a little loop, 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 loop. All like that. Just for a little variation. You can barely see it, but I know it's there. And then I've got the vintage blue. And I'm starting out with the light. I hope, yes, the light. And I'm going to color all the rest of the flowers with the blue because it looks so pretty with this paper collection. And anything that's not a flower is probably a leaf. And so we'll color those in a minute. And let's also give a little bit of dark in a couple spots. Just like that. So pretty. And then I've also got my dull green blend, and I want the lightest one of the dull green. And I'm just going to go ahead and give a little swipe to all the little leaves. They're so tiny, but anywhere that there's a spot that just needs to be filled in, just throw some green on it. It's all good. And then down here on the grass, I want to kind of do some little dotting along the grass, and I can even extend it out a little bit, where it's just a little bit of color that trails off like that. Kind of extend it and add a little bit more color. And that is it. That is our little guy all colored up. So let's bring in our card base. because now we want to add the belly band, and I've chosen this lovely pattern paper. I love this. I think it's just so pretty, and it's got the blues and the purples just like in our flowers, all kind of watercolored into it, just sort of like you've taken a watercolor brush, a square brush, and just kind of pushed it down and created this sort of tile-like mosaic. I think it's so pretty. So I have cut this to 9 inches by 1.5. The back side is pretty too. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around our card. Now you want to wrap it tight enough so it'll hold it, but not so tight that you won't be able to get it on and off. Okay? So don't, leave yourself. It's like wearing your buffet pants. You know, when you're going to go to the buffet, you're going to eat a little more, and so you need a little room, so you wear your buffet pants. So pretend that your belly band is acting like buffet pants, and you need a little bit of room to wiggle into them later. It's a good way of looking at it. So we're just going to add a little glue where those two overlap. Hopefully not so much that it glues to the card. Nope, we're good. Awesome. And then we're going to add this to the front using some foam tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it on top and get it centered, and then I have an idea of how much foam tape to add. And I'm just going to add a couple pieces. It doesn't need to be a lot, but we just want to make sure that it's not going to overhang and stick to the card instead of the belly band, because that would not work. I've got people chatting in a chat stream for a crop that I'm going to on Sunday, and every time somebody comments, it pops up and blocks your comments. So if you're commenting and I don't see it, don't worry, I will see it eventually. And then we're just going to go ahead and center this like that on the card. Isn't that so cute? And I forgot, I was going to grab some embellishments. Where did I put my bin of embellishments? That's a good question. Oh, I know where I put them. They're actually holding up my shelf currently, and I forgot about that. I forgot to ask my husband to come and fix that. So one moment. Here comes the embellishments, but I got to shove another bin underneath to hold my shelf up. I have IKEA shelves, and they have changed how they do the little peg to hold up the shelves. And so the shelf that I have, my husband bought me a couple extra shelves for it, and they came with the new clips. And I went to pull something off the shelf, and somehow the shelf lifted, and the pin fell right out. And so I don't know how to put it back in. So I have to get my husband to come and show me how the new ones work. The old ones were just fine, but they switched it up on me. And now I don't know what to do. So there's a bin holding it up so it doesn't fall down and drop all over the place. So let's see. I think I want these darker little ones here. And I think I want the hearts. I'm always a sucker for the hearts. You just kind of gotta, I think. Actually, maybe these ones. No, I'm going to go with the darker ones because it'll go with the grape that we've got going on here. So let's go ahead and add a little heart down here, like it's just tumbled out of the basket. Oh, I know what we forgot. We totally forgot a thing. And then we're going to put one up here and one over here. I totally forgot to put the centers on the flowers. The only one I can really tell is the very large one. But I had my citrus blend here, and I want the light one. Ooh. And we'll just go ahead and add the centers on our flowers. Just like that. Just a little dot. It hardly makes a difference except for that largest one. That's how I knew that I had missed it, because it was white. So there we go. We have our twisted square card. I'm trying to remember. Usually my camera is over on this side, but today, because it's plugged in, it's over on this side. And so I keep forgetting where the camera is. So this is our twisted square card. We started out with our grape card base, scored it up, added our inside bit, then this beautiful pattern paper on the front, created a belly band with our focal point of our cute little koala from the stamp of the month called Precious Moments. Did you ever collect Precious Moments things when, you know, it's kind of a bygone thing, I almost think. The Precious Moments collectibles, but my best friend has a whole oodles and noodles, whole bunch of them. So there is the cute little koala belly band, and then we have our twisted square card that just pops open. Thank you bunches on the inside. I think that is just such a sweet little card and a cute little koala to go with it. I hope you guys enjoyed that and whip up a few of these. They don't have to be thank you cards. They could be just about anything. And I think you could probably fit a little gift card inside there too. Just tape it inside so it doesn't fall out. But I hope you guys had fun seeing that come together, and we will see you again soon. All right, toodaloo. Bye.